Hi and welcome to Veg. I'm your host, Kristen Zangline. Veg is a show that focuses solely on plant-based cooking, and plant-based cooking means there's no meat, dairy, or eggs, but plenty of fruits, vegetables, and grains. On today's show, I'm going to be making a gumbo with a side of cornbread. So stay tuned. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to start with cutting one whole onion. I like to use a separate cutting board for my onion, especially if the onion is not super fresh, because that is what makes your eyes water when it starts to get a little bit older. Yep, it's a strong one. We're going to want to dice the onion up. I try to do it as quickly as possible so I don't start burning. Oop, nope, too late. I'm going to start crying. Oh my gosh, that is so strong. Oh. I've heard sometimes you can use a flame from a candle and that will help. Oh goodness. Okay, we're gonna set this aside. Now I'm going to work on vegetables that will not make me cry. We're going to need 1.5 green pepper, about 3 nice sized ribs of celery, 4 good sized carrots, and parsnip, 2 parsnips, whatever, depending on the size. As you can see, they come in varying sizes. I love parsnips. This is my newfound favorite vegetable. They're kind of starchy, but sweeter than a carrot when cooked. They're so good. All right. Let's start with our celery. I already have them trimmed and washed, ready to go. Just got to cut them up. I'm going to do 2 at a time. It's easier that way. Here's a little tip. If you're cutting through celery, it's easier to cut with the round side up because you're cutting through all of those little veins. Oh, my nose is running. Crazy onion. Okay, now I need to get a bowl to put this in. I'll be right back. I'm going to start with putting the celery into a bowl to save for when we get started. We're going to put the celery, onion, and bell pepper in together so I can put those in a bowl together. This is the easiest way I have found to cutting a pepper, and to get the seeds out, just kind of devein a little bit, not too much, and then over the sink, normally I would do this over the sink, just kind of tap and all the seeds come out. Easy peasy. And then you don't have to water it and get it all juicy and gross. There we go. Now we're going to add this to our bowl of celery. Now I'm going to cut up my parsnip. I want to make them bite-sized. Like this guy is definitely going to have to be quartered. And these cut up just like a carrot. They're nice and firm. Cut this in half. Having a good sharp knife really makes life a lot easier when cutting up firm vegetables. I highly recommend it. Okay, we're gonna go down like this. It's a firm butter. Still really big pieces. That's okay. Parsnip is so good. I'm just going to put this parsnip in a bowl, and then when I cut up the carrots, I'm going to put them in that bowl too. All right, now into cutting carrots. I leave the skins on everything. It's just little added nutrients. This is kind of yucky looking. Well, these look like they're good size. Just cut up all your carrots. Now the carrots go into the parsnip bowl. Okay, so we have all of our vegetables prepared. Now I'm just going to open these cans. We need a 28-ounce can and a 14.5-ounce can of diced tomatoes. So I'm just going to get those opened up and ready to go. Our roux is going to start with 3/4 of a cup of flour. I have unbleached all-purpose flour here. Normally I use whole wheat flour for almost everything, but I'm going to use an unbleached whole grain flour still. And 3/4 of a cup of just plain old vegetable oil. We're going to get the oil started. You need to get the oil nice and hot. And this can take up to like 3 minutes to get the oil nice and hot. Okay, now we're ready. I just put a teeny bit of water in there, and when it starts to pop, you know it's ready to go. So I have my 3/4 of a cup of flour, and I have a whisk. Now, once you start this, you've got to keep going until you're done. Okay. And you just got to keep whisking and whisking and whisking. You can use a non-stick pan if you like, but then you wouldn't use a whisk, you would use a wooden spoon. Now we have this on high heat. I'm going to turn the heat down to about a medium. And we're going to be doing this for probably 20 minutes, at least. We're going to try and get it to be a nice chocolate brown. I've never done it before. I'm still new to roux. We're going to see how it goes. Okay, I think I'm going to add my vegetables very carefully because it's super hot oil, as you can hear. We're going to cook this for about 5 minutes just to get the vegetables nice and soft. Stir it to coat all of these vegetables with the roux. Okay, it looks like our onions are soft, so now we can add everything else. I really hope my pot is big enough. We're going to add all of our seasonings. It's a 1.5 tablespoons of cumin, 1.5 tablespoons of smoked paprika. If you don't have smoked, you can use regular. I like the smoky flavor. Oops, gotta run away. 1.5 tablespoons of oregano and about 3/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Yum. Oh, that smells so good. We're going to add our tomatoes. Gotta add some water because I can't stir it, it's too thick. I still somehow have to get some okra in here because to me it's not gumbo without okra. So in the future, I would use a bigger pot. Normally I would add about 1 cup to 2 cups of okra, but we're just gonna see what fits. You can use fresh or frozen, your choice. It fits. Kind of. Add a little bit more water. While this is simmering for 40 minutes, we are going to work on our cornbread when we come back. Welcome back. We're going to get started on our cornbread. This is so easy, such an easy recipe, and it uses no eggs, and it's still spongy and just super delightful. Easy recipe. So we are going to, I use whole wheat pastry flour for all of my baking, even in cakes, but use whatever flour you want to use. 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of cornmeal, 2 tablespoons of raw sugar. You can add probably like a 1/4 cup of maple syrup if you like. I choose not to, just I don't like it super sweet, just that's plenty of sweetness for me. And this is a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We're going to stir that up. Oops. As you can see, I'm going to be baking it in a cast iron pan. You can make muffins, or you can do it in a baking dish, like a square, 8-inch square baking dish. I love baking in my cast iron pan. Okay, you're gonna make a little well in the center. And we're going to add 1 cup of almond milk or soy milk or whatever, nut milk, whatever milk you choose. And a 1/4 cup of unsweetened applesauce. Now this is the part where you don't want to mix it too much. Just a few quick strokes and wet it. Okay, then we're just gonna pour it right into our cast iron pan. And this is about a 10-inch pan. It's either 9 or 10 inch, I can't remember. It was gifted to me. Okay, just spread it evenly, and now we're going to pop it in a 400-degree oven for 20 minutes. Or until a toothpick or knife comes out clean. Okay. So I forgot to add a tablespoon of baking powder. I just added it in. Now I'm gonna rebake it. We all make mistakes, we're all human. I should have started over, but I don't have enough cornmeal. I'd have to go to the grocery store. It'll still turn out fine. Oh yeah, that's much better. It's already puffing up. Okay. Back into the oven. I just pulled the cornbread out of the oven and it is golden brown and delicious looking. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna let that cool in the pan. We're gonna check on our gumbo, see how it's doing. Still a lot in there. Okay, I'm gonna give it a little stir. Looks good. So it looks like it's gonna need just a few more minutes of simmering, and I'm actually going to add more to this. I'm going to add, this looks like about 1.5 cups of black-eyed peas. I just wanted a little extra added protein source black-eyed pea seems like a good thing to put in it. These were a half cup dry that I cooked in my Instant Pot. And so they're super soft. So I only wanted to add them right at the end. So we're gonna give this a stir and let it cook for about 5 more minutes. And then we're ready to eat. Okay, our gumbo looks like it's done. So we can serve this up and start eating. I don't recommend using a pot too small. It works, but makes everything a little bit more difficult. Okay. Live and learn. Oh, that looks so good. You can serve this with some rice. You could put the rice on top or pour it over the rice, use it as a first course, as a soup, or a main course, which is what I would do. And here we have our vegetarian gumbo with cornbread. Thanks for watching Veg. Join me next time for more delicious plant-based cooking.